Okay, everybody, let's get on this first card, and we're going to use the Lavender Blend Tri-Blend marker from Spectrum Noir to color in all the sparkles on one of the sheets. I think one of the sheets is going to take care of all of the cards, at least through the first set of cards. But you could actually go through and do both sheets, because if you're going to go ahead and make 4 of each card, you'll probably need all of them. So just color those in, keep them on the carrier sheet while you're coloring them, so that you don't mess up and accidentally go onto your actual card. So pretty simple, and that will work with any alcohol marker, including like Sharpies. Yeah. Lost my mind for a second. And go ahead and fold your card base and get all your pieces together. You should have pre-cut everything by now, and done all your die cuts. And aren't these die cuts pretty? Oh my gosh. Also grab your periwinkle glitter paper. We're gonna spice that up a little bit. Now, I don't think they say this in the instructions, but I thought that these cards especially would need a little distressing on the edges, because it's supposed to be sandy, you know, it's beach cards and stuff. So it makes sense to kind of make it look a little worn, a little dirty. And I love that look, especially on these colors. So just go ahead, and I think I'm using toffee ink here, and one of my foam tools. And just if you haven't edged any of these before, it's so simple. Just go down over the edge of it. You know, you're not going really adding a lot of color. You're just trying to add a little bit of an outline that just makes it pop out. And do that on all your die cuts too. And I think that we'll be ready to put this thing together here. Oh, actually, yeah, we're going to do some stamping first, aren't we? Yep. So it looks like we're going to use toffee ink. Tear that brown piece, the toffee piece, down. You could stamp first and then tear it if you want to. I went ahead and did that. Don't forget to put your sponge down first. And don't forget to season your stamp up on your arm, just like that. I usually do it before I put it on the block. But when they're little, I usually put it on the block and then just rub it on my arm. Now this one, you're going to fill up the whole page. And it doesn't have to be perfect, because you're going to cover quite a bit of this. You can see, though, I haven't really made a lot of effort on this particular one, because I know a lot of it's going to be covered by other pieces. And it's just supposed to make a nice background on there. So go ahead and get that done. And then let's see what else we got here. I think we're going to do some other stamping. Yep, on that... is that white, or is that, I can't remember if that was French vanilla and the color wise, but I think it looks like maybe French vanilla. I can't even remember, but whatever. The white or the French vanilla we're going to do a little coloring. So take your toffee ink, squeeze that pad really tight, and then grab a water brush that you already have water in, add a little bit of water to it. Not too much, because you don't want it too wet, but make sure it enough so that when you hit it on the side like this, you're going to sprinkle all over. Now, another option, if you don't feel like doing this, is to take like a brown shimmer brush, and I think I used espresso on one of these cards, because I don't think there's toffee shimmer brush, so espresso works just fine, and you could do it with that too, and then you're going to get a little sparkle in there too, you know, because those shimmer brushes have some shimmer to them. So either way, it's going to work just fine for that. So that makes a nice background on this, and then we are going to do some stamping on here. So season it. Yes, by the end of these cards, I probably will have some color on my arm, because it tends to happen. And I've just put down some scrap paper underneath this, because I'm going to go off the piece just slightly, and I don't want to mess up my foam from my stamp set. So that's why I've put down a piece of scrap paper there. Let's see what color we're going to be using. See, I do these voiceovers after I do it, so I'm not always sure exactly what color I've used. I think that's going to be, is that Lagoon? It might be. Yeah, I believe that's Lagoon because we're definitely using Lagoon paper in this. And so I'm just kind of going off the side there. That's what it is, see? And anytime I go off the side, I don't want to get it on my sponge or on my foam, whatever you want to call that that's inside there. So we're going to go on the left there and then the upper right. And then taking our hello stamp, and that's it's just a little hello from me. And that's going to be with the toffee, or let's see, no, we're going to do that in black ink. And when I'm stamping, I do like to use the archival black unless I'm going to color. And so I'm probably using archival black on here because it's so dark. And we have just retired our regular black. And so we have the archival that does the nice sharp, dark stamping. And then the other one is is it Intense or, oh my gosh, I've lost my mind, you guys. Whatever the other black is, I think it's Intense, right? That's the one that you want to actually do coloring on. So because the black doesn't run. So here we go. We're gonna do a little painting on the seashells, and this is kind of an interesting thing they're doing there. So they want you to just not add too much water this time. So you can see I'm kind of almost rubbing it off because you want to not get your seashells too wet. You're more like you are painting with this. So just a little bit of water, get a lot of ink on there, and then we're going up the grooves in the seashells just to make them stand out. If you don't like that look, you can of course skip that, but it's kind of cool. It's a little bit different look than Close to My Heart usually does, and it was super simple to do too. So I actually, as I'm doing this voiceover, I have the card in my hand so I can see what I did, and I like that look, it's pretty neat. And I just went over the grooves real easy. And if you want them to be darker, then use less water. If you want them to be lighter, use a little bit more water. But I think they turned out pretty cool. And then what we're adding to this one, usually add something to the cards that they're already making. Not too many things this time because the cards are already awesome as it was. So basically just that periwinkle paper is going to be added in there, and then I'm just doing that little bit of distressing. And then if you want the shimmer brush instead of the using the ink pad, those were the three things that I kind of changed on this. So, but I wanted to show you how to do it just with your ink pad, so like you don't have any brown shimmer brush at home, that this is another way to do it. So I think it's time to put all of this together. Isn't it nice when all the prep is done and you can just start gluing? Oh my gosh. Remember what they used to say, that everything that I ever needed to know in life I learned in kindergarten? It's so true, isn't it? It's the same way with our art too. We did all this stuff in kindergarten, right? It was all gluing and painting and drawing and, and we still love it even at our ages, right? So, hey, did you hear that we're going to have an exclusive Close to My Heart adhesive is coming? They've actually invented their own, and it is refillable, and it'll be coming out in September. So we still sell the Tombos, and I love Tombos, especially since they kind of reformulated them so that they didn't constantly get stuck inside of the the applicator. But you will also have an option to buy the Close to My Heart one too. So you'll have two options there. All right, so we're putting the pattern paper with the ferns on it on the bottom, and the lagoon on the top here. And then I think up next is going to be the strips. So I just did the measurements the same way, and put the zip strip on the same part where they told us to in the directions. And then just under it, onto that fern paper, I'm going to add the glitter paper on there. So, and there's, when I choose a glitter paper for any of these types of things, I just look at the zip strip and look at all the colors that they have on there, and then I find which glitter papers would work with that. So, it's not even like you got a thin card, just use the colors on the zip strip, and it's going to go, right? And look at how pretty this periwinkle is with that. And it just adds a nice little sparkle. I love it. So I just put that right under the zip strip, right in the directions where where the zip strips is measured. I put the periwinkle, and now it's time to put in our brown piece there, the toffee that we prepared with some stamping. And you can distress those edges too, of course. And then you just gonna, I can't even tell how far down there. So you're gonna look at the measurements for that and then just add that in. What does that look like? Maybe 3/4 of an inch or something like that I think I've got down. But since it's all sped up and stuff, make sure you check your own measurements on that. And then if you're a person who doesn't need to do the measurements exactly this way that Close to My Heart says, or the way that I say, or you don't even care if they are like perfectly straight or anything, you don't even have to worry about that. You just put it down where you want to, because there are, kind of two types of people, the ones that get a little anal about it, and like me, and have to actually put everything the way that Close to My Heart tells you, in the same measurements and stuff. And then the other ones that just say, hey, I'm just going to throw this stuff down on here and it doesn't matter, and they're right. So get your shell down first, I believe, in this, and then the hello piece is going to go up over it. And of course we want to pop that up to have a little dimension. Now remember that when you add more dimension and sparkles and stuff like that, sometimes the post office is going to charge you extra. So be aware of that. If you don't want to pay, I think it's like 15 cents, 20 cents extra when there's kind of sparkles, or it won't go through their regular machine. Be prepared for that. So you can always make it completely flat and drop off the sparkles if you don't want to pay the extra. It just depends on the post office you go to. Some are more strict than others. So mine, they had a lady that, oh my gosh, she was strict. She would even ask when I brought up a package, whether there was correspondence in there, because apparently you have to put a stamp on, and then attach to the outside of the package if you have correspondence, like a letter. You can't just stick a letter inside of a package. That's like against the rules. So she was a stickler. She's retired now, and I, of course, moved away, so I don't have to deal too much with that. So far, the post office down in Wheaton has not been so bad. So put that other shell right up over it, and that was also popped up on some foam tape, too. And then go grab those purple the sparkles, and we'll be almost done here. Just a couple, and add them to the lower right of the hello piece. I was having trouble grabbing it because you know what happened? My piercing tool, I've used it for so many years now that it's bent at the, at the bottom. So there you go. Pretty, pretty, pretty card. And let's get on to card number 2.